Well, just got done watching all the Memorial Day services, and it was nice to see Vice President Pence, who I'd like to see as President Pence. While the other is hobnobbing it with the Japanese Prime Minister at golf and drinking champagne. And I've already spoken about that situation in the previous clip. Just getting over some news, and then there's some UFO news here. For the time being, as to our affairs, the matter regarding the internet seems to be developing in a more positive way. But again, being the internet, you never can trust it. Getting into the politics, what I can tell you is that I think that impeachment will destroy the Democrats as long as the Republicans hold the Senate. And if I was a betting person, I'd be placing my chips with the fifth District Court in New York City. And I think that is probably going to bring some sort of a resolution. Recently, and I should get the link, getting onto UFO news, the New York Times has posted that article that I brought out on a previous clip about the military now, designating that they are studying the UFO phenomena. And there is a new History Channel series called Unidentified. Lou Elizondo, who came to be known through Tom DeLonge's organization, To the Stars Academy, is involved in that. I sort of have reservations about Elizondo because the situation is that, if you're in those high up positions in the government, you have a clearance. And if you're going around mouthing off about stuff that that's a crime. So it's either been released or they don't care, kind of like a useful idiot for the CIA. But I'll have the New York Times. I'm going to have to look that one up. But I'll try to get the New York Times and then the History Channel's link to Unidentified. Since this being Memorial Day, and I think it's a day that we honor the fallen of the various wars, in business and society, mainly business, veterans should not be given preference over others. And what I mean by that is, let's say there is a family that has qualified for a mortgage to buy a lovely home. But there is a veteran who he and his wife, or she and her husband, however you want to put it, don't really qualify, but they're the ones that get the home because he was a veteran. That is just plain wrong. And what I mean by that is that we are not, unfortunately, we are a nation of people, but unfortunately, we have become a nation of preferences. Now, if a bank is going to engage in preference of one person, another person, that's just as bad as affirmative action, and that's making out the veterans another group. If the veterans, whether they were drafted into a war, especially if they were drafted, or volunteered, because that's a choice they made, this is just me, should not get preference in terms of being hired or obtaining anything. And a business that would do that is a business that I will no longer, have anything to do with. And, we're all people. There should be no preferences, somebody going to the front of the line because of whom they are or what they may or may not have done. And it's especially true with the all-voluntary military service. Now, I know I'll get a lot of complaints about it. I don't care. Again, it's just me, but I'm going to say it anyway. And the case of anybody, for any reason, being moved to the front of the line, so to speak, I mean, we're all equal in line at McDonald's, you know. Now, if there's a bank that wants to set themselves up independently, okay, and just deal with veterans and give them loans and such, that's fine. Let them go there. In my book, going back to the veteran who got the home over the other family from the bank, in my book, they both deserve homes. And I'd be raising hell about that. And so the only way that I can, say what I want is through this clip here. Because that's not to say that we don't honor them and we appreciate their service. But again, especially with today's all voluntary service, it's a choice they made. And I think that, instead of the military building ships that the Navy doesn't even want, okay, there's 3 hulls that are sitting there because they're not needed. That money that was used for that could probably buy a tremendous amount of veterans and their families' homes or services or whatever else they need. So again, that was just to line some, politicians' pockets with money from the special interests and so on and so forth. And there we are, sitting, with 3 ships that the Navy doesn't even want. Anyway, that's sort of my rant for the day. And getting back to the UFO news, I will get the link from the New York Times and then the link to History Channel's Unidentified below here. And there's a lunar clip. Hopefully I'll get around to doing that today. If not, it'll probably be tomorrow. So we'll see you in the next clip.